It's about that time. You are about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet podcast with CannaQueen and MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the hosts, their subsidiaries, and guests. If you're not sure, don't worry. We'll tell you. Or you can just take a good look at our faces. Additionally, we are talking about medical content today, but we are not doctors. So make sure that you have a nice, close relationship with your doctor when discussing these subjects. With that said, it's time to get this session started. Thanks for rolling up and showing up. Enjoy the show. What's up? Oh, you're muted. Are you unmuted?
I am now.
You're unmuted. Wait, why can't I? Oh, I know why. No, listen, I'm like, what's going on? Why can't I hear you? It's because I have to mute the computer. I always have to remember that. And then this is, where do we want to, I have to look for,
Hey, next. Hey, Meek. Wow. Wow.
Meek Wow.
Meek Wow.
Meek.
Meek.
I love Meek. Thanks for joining us over here on the Twitch, and on the YouTubes and on the Facebook. How are you doing? Yeah? No?
What? Me.
Yeah,
I thought we were like asking the guests. Obviously, you know why. I'm a little way over here. Like, what?
That's what we got to do.
Oh, it's work Wednesday. Jessica sent me a text today. She's like, it's like the picture. It's like the sad picture of supposed to be Wednesday Addams or whatever. It's like when you realize that it's you thought that it was the weekend, but it's only Wednesday, and it's not. It's like,
yeah, but it is Wednesday for us. We love work Wednesdays.
We love work Wednesday. But it's like, wow, this week is just not flying by.
For those of you who have joined us, this is the Cannabis Closet with CannaQueen and MJ. How's everybody doing today? It's a work Wednesday.
We've
been doing a lot of work the last several days. I just said off air that that when it's 3 days in, right? We call this hump day. We're halfway over the hump. We're almost to the weekend. But like we own 3 businesses and work for other people also, so we don't actually have time off so much. Like we get moments in time off. Like tomorrow morning you're gonna go to the mountain.
We're scheduling, so yes, we schedule our
we get moments in time off, but like generally speaking, we both always have our phones on us. We're answering emails while we're on the go. We're talking to each other about ideas and make sure we put this on the list. And like we're constantly working. We don't get a day off. It's just like that's the life of an entrepreneur. If you had one business, and we have
every day
every day we hustle and y'all would be surprised. Everybody probably thinks that I dance like that too. Like that's why I don't like to get stupid, because then people think that's serious.
I don't know. I've never been like a serious, like I've had some of my friends can blow me away like dancing, but
I can dance.
I can choreograph dance. I can follow dance moves, but I cannot like just I can dance. Like let me just take that back. But I'm
not a choreographed dancer.
I can do choreograph.
My hips are loose and my body is lanky, and so that's, I use it. What's up, Cal? I see you in the comments. We appreciate you being here. We have a special guest today on Work Wednesday, so he's already here. We're just gonna bring him in.
Come on in. Let's get started.
And then we're gonna get into headlines after that. Where are you? Like where are you at? You're not here, are you? Oh, anyways, okay. Hey.
Hello.
See,
I need pie on my face so I can say hello, like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
I'm trying to figure out these instructions over here and why our display names aren't showing up. I put it back on. I turned it back on. I don't know what's happening, but introduce yourself.
Is it because the banner is up there on the bottom?
Maybe. I'll take it.
Thanks, next. I put makeup on today.
Oh yeah, it is. That is why. So we do have we have Randy on the show today, the mad scientist. I've been referring to you as that because I remember there was a post a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, and where you were like, nobody knows my name.
So, true story. I put that post out there, and the amount of people that came back and said, huh, yes, I do. And I was like, oh, sorry. I didn't know that was supposed to.
But I feel like that you don't like you. I have to think about your name. What is his name? Because you rep your brand hard.
Listen, somebody said it a long time ago. They say if you don't tell people who or what you are or what you're about, then what are they going to do? And the best part about me is I got lucky. My cousin thought of the name. He lives over in Italy. What's up, CJ? Hope you watching this. It's like 10 o'clock there, so he might be asleep
we're
from
going to put
wrestling
it up
my
on the
cousin.
after show. As a matter of fact, I haven't put Zach's show up yet, but I am putting it up after this show. I've downloaded everything. So it will be up on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And you can find the replay on YouTube all the time. So yeah, your replay will be on YouTube and it'll be up. Yeah, we'll put it up for sure.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's just crazy. You say nobody knows my name. I've walked into places where I know people know my name, and I've heard, hey, there go the main ingredient.
Main ingredient. Yeah, exactly.
Funny but true story. I'm not the main ingredient. You are. I got a whole bunch of tools in my toolbox, and I can work all day long, but I can't do anything until you tell me what's wrong. You're the main ingredient.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if you put that already on your branding, but man, that's powerful right there.
Yeah.
We put some sexy stuff on our branding, but but like, that makes a difference, right? It's like somebody sees that slogan and then they're just now they're invested with you. Now it's about us. It's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about us now.
Right.
Because you've included me. You've included me in your product. You've included me in the journey. So definitely use that. I do have to say, people in the comment section haven't said anything about it yet, but I feel like it was.
I can take it off if you need me to.
I feel like
it's sleeting outside.
No. Don't you take it off. You stay warm. But I feel like
I will make up for this. I promise.
I was like, I look like I'm a Packers fan, and I don't really rep any teams, but I got my green and gold on.
See,
go Niners.
Oakland, whatever.
Go Niners.
See,
go Niners.
And that's the worst part about it. So the Rams left St. Louis. I kind of stopped watching sports altogether. If I'm in a room with somebody and they got it on, all right.
Woo.
But I'm not running to the TV. I don't reschedule my Sundays, Thursdays, and playoff Saturdays. Nah. I just stay warm and I look good doing it. Oh yeah.
Hey.
Shout out to my wife for dressing me, right?
Whoa, that's the energy right there. I love it. So I had to joke you about it because everybody knows I'm a Niners fan. And everybody knows that the Niners also dislike immensely the Seahawks, and that's being nice. That's me being nice. An immense dislike. If you're watching on TikTok, go ahead and hit that solo.to/cannabiscloset420 to see the whole show. You're only getting 1/3 of the entertainment right now. We do have a guest today. Come on over. Yeah, come check us out on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook Live. So it is Work Wednesday, and we are going to talk about you and your business, where you got started, and any. And
so I had a notebook made with my name. Well, my wife had it made. But when you say it work,
Yes.
yeah, we work.
We're like
We
that.
work.
We're like that too. I have a planner, right, that has like it started out when I got it, I was like, "Oh, this is going to work for me," because it had like morning, noon, and night. It had like morning, night, right? It has like morning, noon, and night on it. And then I just changed it to the different businesses that we run. So we run 3 businesses and work for others. So I have morning, noon, and night. So we have CQ, we have Queen Kitty, and we have TCCP. And over here is also, I work for a company called Eureka Vapor, Eureka Cure. If you are in California or Colorado, ask your bud tender why you haven't seen it if it's not in your dispensary. Little plug there. But
Gotcha.
honestly, I like that product before I started plugging them. So you know me. I'm not going to plug no products that I don't enjoy.
Well, and you are a representative of them and for them, and so we'll have to.
But I wouldn't work for them if I didn't enjoy their product. I got to be real with you. I cannot do it. I can't fake it like that. I have to really believe in what we're doing. So I like it. But anyway, so we get it. Yeah, we have like calendars that and then I use the main, because it still has a main calendar on it. I use the main calendar to schedule my personal life. Because you're supposed to, I heard that you're supposed to also have a personal life.
I was getting ready to say, what is this mythical beast you speak of?
Yeah, it's difficult, right? It was like, whose birthday was it? I don't even know. I can't keep up. But we're all working super hard. Let's get into there's a couple things we need to get into. Let's get into do you want to do headlines first, or do you want to talk about why I'm mad first? Because that's a trigger warning all in itself.
Let's do why you're mad, and then I'll pull up some headlines and such while you're discussing, and then
so I'm going to bring this with a trigger warning. We are going to talk about transgender youth a little bit. So, and I don't have, like, I have a little bit, I just kind of found this out. So I do want to do more research on what's going on. But apparently in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott is outlawing transgender youth. So what does that mean? And I don't know if I'm using the right terminology, but what does that mean? That means that if a child in Texas identifies as a transgender child, that their parents, they can be separated from their parents, put into foster care. Their parents can be arrested for child abuse, and he is making it a requirement for required reporters to report transgender children when they come across, because if they don't, it's under penalty of criminal law. So they'll get arrested, basically. So it's like, if you are a counselor and you don't report a child that you're counseling is transgender, then you can get arrested in the state of Texas. Is basically what that means.
How did it just like tramples over your right as a patient, as a human, as
right? It's really, I mean, however I don't know, however you feel. What I'm going to say is that these are children and these are human beings. And I don't really give a shit if you agree with somebody being transgender or not transgender, because honestly, they're not hurting you, and that is not your life. Ooh, where'd he go? Hopefully he comes back in a second. But honestly, that's not your life. That's somebody else's life. And so we got to treat people like human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like we just to take well, what about HIPAA laws? What about just, you're harming the child more by
putting them into the system, creating this trauma, ripping them from their family. Right? It's hard enough to even say, yes, this is how I feel, but now you're literally closeting
Right.
A generation again, and in
This,
2022, y'all.
they're children. And so so first of all, I found this information. If you guys follow Tizzy Tizzy ENT, I don't know what the ENT stands for. I just always want to say ENT stands for entertainment. So, but Tizzy puts out a lot of information about things like this, right? So so if you follow his page, you can find out more about that, and I'm sure he'll do updates and everything. But it's really, I was having this conversation earlier. There's some false comparison to what I'm about to say. So I just want to say that there's just like no way that you could compare things that happened in 2020 to being a person who was enslaved, or to being a person who was Jewish and you know, during World War II, when they were eradicating Jewish people. Like that's like outrageous, right? But when we think about how some of these things in history started, this is how they started, right? With these little tiny little pieces of power, where we climb up for this power and we like take this right away and we interfere with this part, and we change this thing, and slowly it's just like pulling away at people's rights until it is in a position where we have to hide the children. Like in Texas, if you don't report, you're hiding the children, right? I was saying this earlier too, that there are some comparisons in that way, but the people who hid the children during World War II, the people who escorted individuals to the tunnels, those individuals were rare. Most individuals are reporting, regardless of how they feel. Like even sympathizers reported because they didn't want to break the law. So even people who were like, I know this isn't right, I know that they shouldn't do this, they still reported because they didn't want to go to jail, or they didn't want to face the consequences. Which I don't know if we can blame an individual for not having that level of bravery, because it's not happening now. Now it's jail. Today, when we're talking about it, it's jail. But when we talk about when in World War II, it was death. And so it would be scary in that time. But like, can you go to jail for children, to save a child's life, to save children? Jail. It's not death. It's jail. They what do they do with the children? They can't bully into their opinions and into their life and into their lie. They disown them. They throw them away.
They put them into a system where then they are again abused, traumatized.
Because they can't be that. They can't be.
They probably put them in a foster home known to be very strict on those types of, like
that reform type of ideology.
2022, unfortunately.
So it's yeah. And I think a lot of laws like that, you brought up, Randy, whenever we were kind of chit-chatting about it before the show, this is the same state that told women what they can and can't do with their bodies as well. One of my most hated things about any man walking the earth destroys mine, just wants to make it. It bothers me. You sit on the other side and look at someone and say, this is good for them. You've never walked in that set of shoes, in those particular shoes, so you don't know what's good for that person. And then to not even counsel someone on the subject who's in the realm or in the room with that conversation. Right. It's asinine if you ask me, but who's asking me? I'm just we were.
We asked. Yeah. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Thank you for being an ally. And I mean, the word listen, gentlemen, when you say things like that in public, that's powerful. it's powerful when men speak in public, and are allies in that way. It's really powerful. So thank you.
Yep.
Super important. So that's what I'm mad about today. It's a valid reason to be mad. Governor Abbott is a real piece of work. I'm gonna see if I can get into this space and get out of here too. I'm gonna leave the studio out of this computer because it runs my computer really slow.
Right, it's not doing that, and we're not using it. So,
and when I'm not using it anymore, so I got out of it. So headlines. Do we have some good headlines today?
There's some fun ones. We haven't checked in a moment, but from the marijuana moment, the top headline, and then there's another not funny one, but related.
I got normal over here. You got marijuana moment. I love that.
And then I also have MJ Biz Daily on the next,
cool.
next page. So, South Dakota Senate approves cannabis legalization and expungement bills, while the House defeats a tax measure.
Okay. Is the tax measure related to cannabis?
Let's see.
And is it damaging to cannabis?
This was just published 3 hours ago by Kyle Yeager.
Mute.
Sorry. And then the other headline, which is just relatable because it's in regard to Hawaii, but they are moving forward with psilocybin legalization. So
nice.
Just preparing for our island home.
We need to legalize mushrooms.
They have
beaches, mountain, and the merry ladies.
Plant and fungus medicine is like really where it's at.
Yeah. So let's see.
It's really healing people, like really, really is. Not just the psychedelic ones, like really just like fresh and organic mushrooms people are starting to take, because different mushrooms, they're not all psychedelic. They have different healing properties actually. So they're not just good in a nice dish, they're like really, there's a lot of them that are, you should be eating them up, nom nom nom. But they also have a lot of healing properties that don't always include the brain. So yeah, it's an interesting, I would like to take some time to learn more about the fungus among us.
We want to have another fungus conversation. We have my friend Steve is ready, and I'm sure
I have a friend I talked to. We have to wait till 420 because I said before the show that there will be no men on this show in the month of March. There will be not a single man on this show in the month of March, except in the comment section that way, which is fine. We love you guys. But March is Women's History Month, and we are going to honor that. And so, yeah, we're going to make sure there's no men on our show. But we have a lot of women that are working with and in partnership with a lot of amazing men. And so I'm sure that we'll highlight some of them, but we're not going to let them speak.
We can set it up for another show.
Guess I gotta train my crew up fast then and get these ladies ready.
Yeah, get them ready. Actually do, because just so everybody knows, we are planning a show on March 9th. So if you know a powerful woman that should be highlighted on that show, let us know. Put us in contact with her, because we would like to send her an invite to join us in a live day. It's going to be a work Wednesday. It's going to be a longer than usual work Wednesday, I have a feeling, because there's a lot of women that we want to highlight. And so what we're going to do is like a rotating guest list. So we're just going to have people come in segments, and then we're talking about what different subjects we may or may not want to talk about. His connection is a little unsteady, so he'll be right back.
Yeah.
But so super excited about that, and want to highlight as many women as possible, especially women of color, but all women are invited to to join us. Yes, she's not available. I saw you put in the private message. She's not available actually, but some people from her team are gonna, I think, roll through.
Come on with it. Yeah.
And so his suggestion was V Castillo, and she is the vegan writer, cannabis writer, and the traveling vegan
cannabis writer.
And she's actually built her own crew and like team, tribe, society around her, and she has several writers on her team. She's really, really building the community. I'm really excited to see her do that because that's exactly the avenues that we want to take as well. And so it's exciting to see this woman build in her vision, build her business, and then surround herself with love and positivity and the people that she brings onto her teams. It's like she calls them her tribe, and I see why she calls them that, because it's a very trusted relationships of the people that she brings on. She believes in them, she trusts them, and she's mentoring a lot of individuals as well. So I'm excited to talk to her. She's actually slated in pencil right now. She's so super busy for March 30th, which is the last show in March. But we are going to try to get some of her team onto the show for March 9th, including Dom Hart, including Cheryl
Clements.
Yes. Just a couple of names right off the top of my head, but yeah, we definitely want to highlight them. Of course, we've reached out to Marnie Madison because y'all know I'm in love with her.
Yeah.
And then we've reached out again to Keisha. All of the ladies that have a slot at any point in time in March, we've reached out to all of them, or any ladies that we've had on the show before. We're if you haven't gotten an invite, don't worry. The invite is open, but
it's always open.
We're reaching out to you if we haven't already. And then also, if you're listening on TikTok and you own your own business and you want to come through the show on March 9th and highlight your business, hit me up in my inbox because we will send you an invite. We are highlighting boss women on March 9th.
This is cannabis boss women. We're talking all women, right?
All boss women. No, I've invited massage therapists.
We want a community, a connection, bring everyone together. Like
everywhere. Like cannabis is everywhere. Like it's in all spaces. So like I've invited my best friend who's a massage therapist. Also, I want to have that sex conversation with her in the room because
talk about that, like massage oils and
so it's everywhere.
I was watching some videos on the main ingredient page and like just talking about the like home pop-up that y'all did to like help.
That was brilliant.
That was amazing. Like super like
I love that.
So
okay, let me hold on.
Let's skip the headlines. Can we? Let's just
because I had a couple I just wanted to share, but I do want to get into that because that home pop-up was really smart and a virtual pop-up. What? That's so brilliant. And we're gonna steal that idea, but we're gonna talk about it in a minute. But I want to get through a couple of headlines because there's a lot of good news happening, actually, or a little bit at least good news happening in a couple of states. So and some bad.
Yeah, so I'll like cut this. This one's easy. So South Dakota did approve legalization. They set up the regulatory infrastructure for sales. They have to approve a reform initiative though, and provide for and it also provides for expungements for low-level cannabis offenses. What it did defeat was the tax model and regulatory system for other parts of the market. They voted that down. Like, okay,
well, you win some, you lose some. Keep working. Good job, South Dakota.
Yeah, good job, South Dakota. They
waiting
out there. Let me see. I rolled down. But South Dakota.
My live feed just got suspended for illegal goods and activity because my I wasn't even on camera. This is what got me suspended. The sound of this torch. It's not even a torch, it's a regular lighter.
Serious? That is nutso.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I wasn't using anything illegal on your camera, so you can just kick rocks. This is why we don't do TikTok that often, honestly. This is why. That was it. Okay. Anyway, so good job, South Dakota. Sorry about the interruption.
There's others. Let's see. U.S. Supreme Court asked the feds to weigh in on medical cannabis workers' compensation cases.
Come on.
Interesting.
Yeah, they should do that. Virginia is legalizing.
Go Virginia.
Good job, Virginia.
I saw this other one.
It's a Senate and a House vote, so it was legislatively legalized, and they're expecting sales to start as early as September 15th of this year.
This year?
Yeah, this year. Wow. And they just they just voted yes in both House and Senate. And they expect it to have retail stores starting to open by September. So they're pushing it out. They're like, this medical is really popular amongst our voters, and they're pushing this retail. Good job, Virginia. Yeah, I might come back for this.
I mean, we do offer education, and this is
we do offer education.
New York hemp farmers are given priority to grow recreational cannabis.
That's awesome. Which state?
New York.
New York hemp farmers. New York and New Jersey also have some problematic shit going on where they just they haven't hired, they don't have any Black owners out there. Or very few. New Jersey doesn't have any. New York, very few, maybe. I didn't read the statistics on that, but yeah. So good and bad from New York, but I feel like we might do a whole show about this whole social equity conversation, like the actual terminology, not is there social equity. We've talked about that. We've done. Like we did, and we'll do it again. But we had that conversation earlier this month about diversity in the industry. That's not the same conversation I want to have. I want to talk about these social equity laws and how much bullshit they are.
Yeah, what they actually are doing, and how are they equitable? How I think that we definitely have a lot to talk about for that. So. Maybe even Monday. Let's see.
Maybe Monday we'll talk. We have a special guest, Jason.
Like it's an ongoing conversation that we have had, and again, the evolving of it, and is it again a catchphrase? Is it just
a catchphrase?
Is it just there's no support behind it actually being fair?
So Jason Mitchell is one of our guests on Monday, and so. Actually, I think I'm having a conversation with him tomorrow, so maybe I'll talk to him about if we feel comfortable having that conversation together. Pennsylvania, y'all's lawmakers and your cops, I don't know why they should have a say, but okay, are making moves to consider legalized adult use cannabis. So take a look at norml.org. For this story and others like it. But yeah, you guys might get adult use soon, and that could help your market because your medical program is so severely restricted. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll come with like grow laws and stuff. So we'll see.
I think that's one of the biggest problems we make with any laws we go into looking at. Nobody digs down and reads in. That's why Mr. Texas can get away with what he did.
That's
It probably starts off as some little slick written in with all these things that we want, and nobody read down in the fine print. Case in point, I heard about a law in Baltimore where they made it all right to come and do kick in doors without a warrant.
No knocks.
All along, and it was tied to an education bill.
Yeah, during a time when no-knock warrants are like the fucking enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in power, Amir Locke, as he is the most recent victim of a no-knock warrant. We gave you a trigger warning at the beginning of the show. This is what we talk about.
Don't uncover your ears and listen. If you're shocked by this conversation,
and you're probably white and you've been covering your ears for years, and I need you to listen.
Unfortunately, there's another headline from today from NJ Biz Daily. Oklahoma authorities seize 500 million of illegal cannabis. 9 of the farms raided were licensed by the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority.
Wait, who came in and did that? Wait, who did that?
The Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics.
So the State Bureau of Narcotics raided state legal farms. Is that what you're saying?
So it says a multi-agency crackdown on illegal cannabis grows in Oklahoma resulted in the seizure of this.
Wait, are they illegal or are they licensed?
That's down here. That's the first sentence. But then as I read down, it says
they're licensed by the state, and the state. Are you kidding? That's corruption 101.
The seizures stemmed from a year-long investigation into a multi-state crime ring that officials said was shipping all over the country.
Okay, that's a different conversation, Oklahoma.
According to the news release, the OBN, Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, their raids focused on 9 grow operations and 3 private residences scattered across the state. 8 of the 9 farms were licensed by the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority and were reportedly in good standing. 100,000 plants, 2,000 pounds of processed cannabis.
That breaks my heart.
I
hate when they were being cannabis. Use it for something. If you listen, use it for something. Why are we destroying this? People are dying.
Medicine.
People are dying.
Because again, yes, because it's healing people, it's helping people, and they're trying to stop that flow of product. So
a healed patient is a lost customer.
That's true. That's true.
There's a little blurb in here. It says social equity matters, women and minorities in cannabis. This is on the MJ Biz, and it's a report. Get the report.
You guys check out normal.org, MJ Biz. They're using it, she says. So you think law enforcement took it and then they're using it and not
selling it and using it, selling it.
Oh, probably selling it too. They're probably doing the exact thing that they're accusing other people of doing.
Exactly. Let's talk about that gray market and where it actually comes from.
Well, I mean, we know that the federal government introduced crack cocaine, for example, into low income and Black communities. And so we know that happens in this country. It has happened over and over again. It's happening with pharmaceuticals right now. It's happening in this country with pharmaceuticals right now. Pharmaceutical companies have gotten away with sending millions of pills into an area where there's not enough people to use millions of pills. So what's happening to those pills? That's the absolute truth about it. And so
they factor in Black or illicit market pharmaceutical sales. They make enough to cover that market. It's not like they just get lost. No, there's an additional supply of pharmaceuticals going directly into another market.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we get, I think that's enough headlines. What do you think? Did you have anything else you wanted to highlight?
No,
okay.
Those could also fall under things you could be angry about today.
I know. I'm like that. I am angry about all of it. But let's do like the little ad spot here. I just wanted to give us a holler. So if you like King Palms like I like King Palms, hit up kingpalm.com with my code KPTCCP Feb15 to get 15% off your next order. Helps me out, helps you out, and then you got King Palms fresh in a little Ziploc baggie or whatever they send it in. So use that code. If that code doesn't work for you, just send me an email. I will be happy to give you a new code. But I think it's based on uses, and we're good on uses right now. I don't think we've used them up. Also, this show is sponsored by CQ LLC, Cannabis Consulting and Education. www.cq-llc.com. Customer service, cqllc@gmail.com, 970-426-5985. We, this year, recently were approved for responsible vendor training. So in the state of Colorado, if you're a delivery driver or a hospitality worker, you are required to take responsible vendor training from a licensed vendor, and that is CQ LLC. So if you are in one of those categories, give us a call. We'll definitely set you up with a class. Also, if you're not in one of those categories and you happen to be in some other category in the regulated, legalized industry in the state of Colorado, Colorado MED uses whether or not your team is RVT certified as a mitigating factor to administrative violations. So if something happens where you get an administrative violation as a company, they're going to look at whether or not your team has taken responsible vendor training when deciding what your punishment is going to look like. So just consider it as a mitigating factor. 970-426-5985 is where you can reach us. Customer service, cqllc@gmail.com. And you can also check out our website, www.cq-llc.com for CQ LLC Cannabis Consulting and Education. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Randy.
Hello.
All right. I need to know everything.
Start from the beginning.
So first, how did you become the mad scientist? What is this mad scientist all about? There's a story.
There is a story. So in 2015, my now wife, then fiance, was diagnosed with lupus, fibromyalgia, and rheumatoid arthritis. Once diagnosed, she gave me a call or shot me a text and sent me to the local drugstore and was like, "Hey, pick up my prescriptions for me." And yes, she put the S on the end of there, but that's nothing unusual. I got there, and $198.65 later, they gave me 17 medications.
Oh
And
my goodness.
yes, in 2 different bags. So we ran through the side effects of not eating enough, not taking this one in time, taking this one with this one, and it should have been taken at this time, forgetting if we took 2 or 1 pill. It was just, oh my God, it was horrible.
Oh
And,
man.
and
17.
17 medications.
I'm
And
like
that,
shocked at that, but there are people on this planet in this country that are taking way more than 17 pills a day. But
right.
17 is so much.
Yeah. And you talking about somebody who, let's just say she's kind of spoiled, and I'll take blame for that. So
Hey.
taking all those pills, and that's not what she was used to doing. It wasn't high on our priority list.
Right.
So one day after coming home from work and seeing her literally laid across the bed when I knew she was usually at work, so I thought something was wrong. You know, went to the doctor, asked her, shouldn't I just smoke with her? It was something I've been doing since middle school. And that's when the doctor was like, you could, but when in the history of man has it been smart to set anything on fire and breathe it in? And it just, while I was sitting there in shock, she said, just feed it to her. And
Okay, I like it.
everything rushed into my mind. So the very first thing was brownies. The very second thing was my wife is 5'2", and we like to keep control of her weight because prednisone kept her in a fluctuating weight problem.
Right.
So we started investigating, and we came up with the final decision that you can infuse anything. So another line that we use at Main Ingredient is if you can put it on your body or in your body, we can infuse it.
That's awesome.
And from
I
there,
just want to highlight some of the things that you just said that I want to remind everybody is really important. First of all, that conversation with the doctor and like that level of support, that answer is not going to come from every doctor. And if that's not how your doctor is responding to you, then it's time to be on the search, be on the lookout.
Thank you
Because
for saying that.
yeah, it's really important to have a doctor's assistance. I started this show by saying we are not doctors. We are not doctors. We know about cannabis. We know how cannabis works, but also we have conversations with doctors. We have relationships with doctors who are pro cannabis, who can help us along the way. MJ works and has for years for a doctor with a medical clinic, one of the most thorough cannabis doctors I've ever talked to. I actually have sat with a patient's permission, sat in on a patient visit with him, and I have never seen a doctor that was that thorough about cannabis, about alternative medicines, and about the importance of having a conversation with your prescribing doctor about your cannabis use. Like really, people aren't educated enough about that. So it's really that is a positive story about a doctor. Was like, first I was like, what is the, but I say this a lot, right? When you went to that second part of that sentence, I was like, actually, I say this a lot. I say, you know, we smoke every day, but this is not the healthiest way to intake your cannabis.
No.
The healthiest way to intake your cannabis is internally.
Yes.
For longevity, especially if you have chronic need for like pain need or chronic condition, you want that internal medicine. Smoking, vaporizing have their place. Dabbing too have their place.
Yeah.
The immediate need, the immediate dulling of pain, the immediate calming of senses, those are things that smoking cannabis, the immediate onset of appetite, those are things that smoking or inhaling cannabis can be very helpful and useful with. But if you have a chronic condition, you're treating a long-term condition, consider ingestibles and also like topical transdermal type of treatment along with your smoking habits, your inhalation habits.
Speaking of Dr. B, he always likened it to in the sense of that when we inhale it, and is that quick relief is just the initial, again, receptor blocking the pain, the idea of the pain, and then that way when the internal medicine is kicking in, it's and that other goes away, we're getting the relief.
Right. I have a story about that. Before I moved to a legal state, I lived in Virginia, and I had a buddy that would get me sometimes. But I also worked with an ex-cop, and he was the biggest pothead I knew in Virginia, like hands down. He would come in. He served papers, right? So he would come into the office and in a bad mood, and I'd be like, bro, I'm gonna need you to go smoke before you come back in here and talk to me. Like, I don't come talk to me unless you've smoked. So my first birthday off of active duty, he asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said I want weed. And so he brought me some weed, and I just had this little, like, I still have it, a little $5 one hitter. It's like a little marble one hitter. And then I had his little, it was junk. If I think about it now, I would never smoke that. But it was a beautiful thing in that time and space. And there was one night, it was like I was supposed to be going to like a Halloween party or something like that, but my back was on fire. I could not move. And so I pulled out my little pipe with my little bit of stash, and I just took a couple hits, right? And I was sitting there, and I was like doing my thing like in that space. And then it was almost immediate. And I texted a friend of mine just like laughing hysterically. Like, I think I forgot I was in pain.
Yes.
I was like, I think I just had an epiphany about how weed works. I was like, really? I was about it. I thought for sure this is it. It makes you forget that you have an illness, and that's how it works. Like, I knew it. Man, if one hit could do me now, of just the trash. I mean, like you could feed it to the rabbits. I mean, and it was in this little tiny is in the little medicine bottle. It just, yeah. The good old
Fun
days.
times, right? The good old days, right?
So with that, you started creating edibles
I
for
started I started creating not just edibles, but
everything.
everything I could. So her favorite thing is the pain cream
Okay.
and any consumable that she can get relief of any of the fibromyalgia or the lupus pain. So I infuse coconut oil capsules. Uh, I'm working on adding some different oils or flowers to make it a more natural and give it a more powerful bang for your buck. Like you say,
Hmm.
working from internal is one thing, but working from internal the correct way, that's a whole nother game plan. And
Right.
that's another thing. We got introduced into the life wave patches. Phototherapy reflects your body heat back into you and activates your stem cell system. So
Okay.
I'm twofold banging. So earlier I mentioned the prednisone. We haven't taken prednisone in 2 years.
Whoa.
And for those of you who don't know prednisone, it's a steroid. And if you're taking it for any illness or mostly given to asthma patients, there's a fluctuation in weight. There's a psychological damage done with this. Prednisone is a dangerous thing. It's a very helpful thing if you really need it,
Hmm.
but 10 to 1, I can do something better about it.
Right.
Mhm.
I can't cure you. That's your health, that's your diet, that's your
Hmm.
discipline. But I can aid in everything. And I'm not sending you to the prescription pad. We're not going to run to the junk food aisle. Only thing we're going to ask you to do is hydrate, change some of the junk foods you intake, and work with me.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Honestly, we were talking about the other day. We've talked about this on several shows actually. That the if you change one thing, one single thing in your life to make you feel better, to make you feel healthier, it's cutting out all sugary drinks, all that stuff. If you tell somebody you got to cut sugar out of your diet, that's impossible. Like it feels impossible. It's not impossible. You can do it.
It's in baby formula. It's
It's in
impossible.
everything. It's in
It's
bread.
impossible.
It's in savory
But
foods. It's in
but it's
sweet foods. It's in
But like you
everything.
said, it's the cut down on your intake. So if
Right.
you know it's in
So
everything, dodge this ball. Dodge, what'd he say?
right.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a
So,
ball.
so we said the best
Take it
the first step we think, and I honestly believe this. First step number one, water. Stop drinking soda, stop drinking alcohol, stop, just water. Drink more water. If
Hmm.
you cut it, because it's like what you were saying, it feels impossible. If somebody says cut sugar out of your diet, it's like, but it's in everything. But if somebody says drink water instead of this
Yeah,
other thing,
yeah.
that seems like a doable thing. And when I started drinking water instead of drinking soda 24/7, I felt less lethargic. I did lose some weight, like my face was definitely rounder. I also stopped drinking alcohol around the same time. And a lot of the alcohol that I drank was like sugary drinks, because I don't even like alcohol. I grew up in a toxic home where alcohol was the toxic, like, well, it wasn't the main
It was the
toxicity, but
catalyst.
it was a catalyst to the toxicity for sure.
Mhm.
And so I never liked alcohol, but I was in the Navy and weed's not legal, and like all the reasons why we drink alcohol. It's socially acceptable
Mhm.
to face plant every once in a while on the weekend, like it's just so
It's
I
society.
know
It's ingrained into it.
it's
Yeah, like, oh, it's
everything.
like everyone does.
Less bags under my eyes. I talk about this picture all the time. You guys, I got to show you this picture. I guess I'll have to show it to the public. It's publicly out there. It's like I've definitely shared it. Like I thought I was looking good that day. But when I look at this picture and look at myself now, I just look healthier now. My face was rounder. I had these big bags under my eyes. My face was puffy. It was like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so drinking water is like the main first step. And then after you do that, after you get yourself into like a water regime where you're drinking water more regularly than pretty much everything else. Like everything else is kind of like I guess I'll have one today kind of thing. When you're doing that on a regular basis, then you start to have this energy, and then you can start to recognize your eating habits. Like it's like you start to clear up when you have water.
Yeah.
And a majority of our body is water, so you need it. If you're drinking soda as your hydration source, there's so much sugar and additives in a soda that it negates the water altogether. So it's liquid by default, honestly. And and then obviously if that's something that you need, like, I don't know, you don't need soda, but like go natural, go to a natural source where they're using cane sugar and like 3 ingredients to create the soda or whatever. So
well, the biggest thing to keep in mind, and here's main ingredient operating. We don't just operate in the infusion, we're the consulting.
okay.
Again, like you, we do not claim to be medical. We do not tell you to run away from your doctor. We actually chase you to the doctor.
Yeah, you need to include them.
Stay away from the prescription pad as well.
Guide them to their doctors.
Correct.
To say what.
And like you said, be transparent with that doctor, but make sure that doctor is going to be equally and fairly transparent with you.
Yeah,
but
and like be open-minded, like to at least acknowledge.
Yeah, but the one thing I want to say to everybody, if you think that you're hydrating because a soda is liquid too, keep in mind that sugar dehydrates.
Yep. Sugar is sugar. Okay, I said the other day that trauma is the gateway drug to everything, and I believe that. But if we're talking about like an ingestible drug, like every single person I've ever met is addicted to sugar or has been in their life. If they're not any longer, it's because they have some kind of weird discipline to stay away from Twinkies. I don't know, but like, I mean, it's difficult. Even if you're living like a healthier lifestyle, as like in a vegetarian lifestyle or a vegan lifestyle, like or natural food sources, you're always eating organic. It doesn't matter if it says organic. Sugar is sugar. It works the same way in our body. And also, if you are susceptible to, have currently, or are in remission from cancer, please cut sugar out of your diet. I need you to cut it out.
Don't let them feed you the Jello during chemo.
Don't do it.
Don't do the juices. Stay away from the
sugar.
Ensures.
Feeds the cancer. They love it. The cancer cells love it.
My goodness, that's what's feeding the monster.
So it's interesting that you say that, because I don't even think about those parts, because I've never actually sat with somebody or had an experience, and I will never go through chemo. I've made that very clear to my spouse that if I am ever diagnosed with any type of cancer, that I'm straight going RSO. I'm increasing my cannabinoid intake. I'm going to do all natural medicine. I'll probably also increase my mushroom intake. And just do it, because I'm not going to do chemo. Chemo is poison, and it's your choice to do what you want to do. But like for me, I'm not going to do that. No. But when you say to me that they're not only pumping people full of poison, but then they're also like, here, have some sugar to feed the cells that we're trying to kill right now. Like you're feeding. So these cells multiply so quickly, more quickly than a regular cell. And so while you're killing them, they're just multiplying with that. Like, then they're like, yeah, give me more.
Hey, come here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
A healed patient is a lost customer. They hate it when I say it, but that's what main ingredient is all about. I'm telling you. They will not send my wife to another pill fest. We will not go through another side effect.
Thank God she has an ally like you.
Listen, and that's one thing I promote as well. I ran into a young lady yesterday, and let me see if I can do this without butchering this. Palmoplantar psoriasis. The skin is literally peeling off of her feet and hands. And it's painful. Why'd you pull your hands back? Because the palms and fingers are losing skin at a rate that is painful and faster than she can keep up with lotion. And they want to give her a monthly injection
of steroids.
And you know what I gave her? Hey, MJ, you saw the video, right? I gave her the elevator patches.
Okay, so tell us about that. Tell us what happened.
So I'll give her my massage oil to try to, because my massage oil has ginkgo. Ginkgo is good for skin rejuvenation. I got lavender in there. Everybody's used to lavender being for the smell, calming the mind. But a lot of people don't know lavender is good for your muscle relaxation as well. But that patch is going to reflect her body heat back into her that at a particular frequency and start telling her brain, we need to see what's going on in here. But I'm going to add a detox patch, one of the glutathiones, a natural detoxin that we have in our body. It just activates and helps kick up the production of. I'm going to add that too, because what she told me is she was diagnosed with a heavy dose of yeast in her body. So detoxing the system as well as working on the skin. We're going to try to take her for a ride, but a great ride.
We need to know the results of that. So I can't wait to hear about this journey.
Follow.
As a matter of fact,
how we can find you, how everyone can follow you, and what's going on. It is 5:20.
Oh, 4:20 on the West Coast.
4:20 on the West Coast.
4:20 on the West Coast. Where's my blunt? Where's my blunt? So
see what happened with that torch?
I was gonna say I would love to if one of your patients, this one in particular, too, is invited, but if one of your patients wanted to like do a later show later in the year to talk about their journey.
Now, I do have questions about it is called LifeWave, and it is, you said, photogenic.
I'm sorry.
What'd you say it was? You tell us. What is LifeWave?
Tell me what life. So,
LifeWave. 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 LifeWave.
Are you a provider of this?
I'm a distributor. Yes,
okay,
I am.
Cool.
It's another company I was introduced. I actually make a pain cream, and a family friend by the name of Steve Conley. He's a great guy, but he believes in a lot of natural things. He was introduced to the patches and immediately turned and called me. And so I had my best friend since middle school come with me, and we went to a park out in the middle of nowhere on a cool spring day. He applied these patches in a 5-minute intervals. My buddy went from not being able to look down to even tell you if he had shoes on to bending over to touch his toes. I spent $1,600 getting into these patches.
Whoa.
We can patch for asthma, Down syndrome, autism. We can patch for lupus, the fibromyalgia, whole body pain. Are you having sleeping issues? We can patch for heart, blood pressure, diabetes. If you got a problem, we have a protocol for it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And here's the most interesting part about it. Whereas the infusion side of my table, it is only for the adults and the adults who supervise, because we know we have Charlotte's Web incident that happened, and we had adults that had to break every law in the world. It was
hot.
Yeah.
It was hot. There's no way that wasn't hot. If you guys don't know, there was like a child that was using apparently a CBD medicine and a hemp CBD medicine, and then the parents reported some pretty adverse effects. They sound like somebody got something that was hot that wasn't used to ingesting THC, and so a child reacting to a dose of THC that they shouldn't have gotten is probably what happened. And we just got to be careful about where we get our CBD.
Yes.
When we talk about stuff like that.
And so on that type of situation, you split the table down the middle. Well, what does that look like, Randy? On one side, we have the infusions. On the other side, we have the patches. On the side with the patches, everyone from your grandparents all the way down to your pets.
Yeah. So you actually have a story about these patches, correct, MJ? Is it these patches that you
It's a
used?
different patch.
Oh, it's a different. It was different.
thing.
But you used a patch that for your dog. That was maybe, was it similar or?
Yeah, it's more aura. It's called. I didn't run and go look at it, but it is more like the energy infused, like to help. And you wear like a tag, so it's like energy infused tags with a specific, XYZ.
Did the patch have crystals in it?
It's a tag, so it's not even a patch. So you have to attach it to something, so you can't put it on. It's
So
something
it wasn't
you wear
okay.
on your like I'd put it on her collar, and and it's supposed to emit back the energy
Like-
that's infused into it to calm XYZ to do. So I used it for anxiety and car stress when we were traveling.
It feels aromatic. Maybe.
Yeah. So more essence energy. I think type rather.
Cool. So this is
Did it work well?
I used it in conjunction with a few things and didn't document a lot to see how it worked for her. She was along with talking to her at the advice of our vet at the time, who spoke, kind of communicated with animals, and then using those, they were recommended from a chiropractor friend of mine. She was, representing the product, and, so I did use it, and it had there is more information about it. I felt like, she was more willing to go do the things that, get into the car. We travel a lot for work and traveled and still do. But, so it just different. I've always been open to other methods of healing, my mom, though she's a nurse, she worked for a holistic chiropractor back in the 80s. And so, we had this whole, I walked away with a different idea of health and wellness. And they had the chiropractor she worked for, they had this fabulous poop song about how your poop is related to your health. And it was just, I'm gonna have to rewrite it at some point.
I'm gonna need to hear this song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to hear the song. So these are transdermal patches, though, that you're talking about.
Nope.
So no, they're okay.
I was watching
nothing.
Putting it on your. I think you were just using your pants to show.
So I actually do that, MJ.
Okay.
I actually do. I tape them with medical tape to clothing. There are videos on my Facebook page where you can see I actually tape them to my head, to the collar of my shirt, all over my chest if I need be, even to the stomach. Let me tell you, these patches can go from head to toe, from grown to child, even down to the pets. And nothing, no drugs, no chemicals enter your body. It is simply light reflection. Patches act as a reflector. That's why I asked if that piece on her collar had crystals in it, because these patches have different frequency of crystals, but they're sandwiched in between plastic. So nothing ever comes in contact with your skin.
I did have another experience with that, though, for a shoe company that I worked for. They used this technology, and I would have to go get information on it, but that I think it was used the crystal technology, and it was embedded into this thing, and they put it into the sandal, and it helped keep the balance so in their shoe so that you could not be knocked over.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It was a little insane. I'm like, I don't know why it didn't like catch on or move forward, or maybe the whatever supply and capability changes. But it was a little mind blown.
Crystals are amazing, really, really.
Y'all can laugh about it if you want, but they are amazing.
Yeah. Seriously.
The way, like, honestly, people don't think about this, but we're built to be here. Right. So the way that we interact with the natural things around us it's not surprising that there's so much healing energy out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were built to be here. And so are the rocks and minerals that are here. And so are the plants that are here, And so, of course, we have an endocannabinoid system, for example, and phytocannabinoids fit into those receptors. What? That's crazy. From plants? Yeah, from plants, because we have a special relationship with plants.
So special.
and actually it's so, I mean, it goes so deep as to like the pharmaceuticals that we rail against now. The creation of pharmaceuticals is through plant medicine involved into this, but they were made with plants as well. It starts there, and then there's like a
So,
and then there's a
I just got super excited. So I have
I love it. Oh, I love it. I know exactly the feeling you had. I know. I love it. Okay.
So
good.
look, I make this pain cream. I call it my peppermint pain rub, right? I make it infused and non-infused.
Okay.
How does it work non-infused? Because of the essential oils: peppermint, rosemary, and lemon oil. Put you a little bit of those oils into some coconut oil or some olive oil, mainly some grapeseed oil, smoother on the skin. You just made you a homemade pain aid, and you don't even need to mess with your cannabinoid system. For those of you that are scared it's going to get into your blood, let's talk about my pain cream that's infused. Less than 2 minutes on results.
Nice.
I had a lady try to.
You're telling me I'm sold right now.
Listen, I had a lady get a 1 ounce jar of my pain cream, $20. She walks away from my table with that look on her face like, that's it? And she comes back and she brings me a 1 ounce that she got when she was in Vegas. She paid $60 for that same 1 ounce. And the relief that she got from my 1 ounce on her sore ankle, she ended up taking my I call her my assistant sales lady / patient / sister / she's everything. Talena Williams is her name. And she helps me at my pop-ups. She does. I got a video of her rubbing a lady's feet down with this pain cream. The lady said,
can she come on March 9th? Would she be?
Yeah, she
I'm
should come
working
through on March 9th.
her.
Yeah,
I'm working on her. So this lady runs around and she's putting this pain cream on. She put it on this lady's ankle. The lady came back, grabbed my test jar, grabbed Talena and one of the rubber gloves I had. And I looked up and they were going into the ladies' restroom. Talena comes back and she tells me, she said, I walked in there, the lady pulled her pants down. She said, both thighs feel like both femurs are breaking. When they came back out of that bathroom, this lady was dancing. She danced the rest of the pop-up event.
I love that.
Play zero games with these plants, ladies and gentlemen. You don't necessarily, and here's the other thing. I'm big about this one. Yes, I desire to be rich. I want to swim in swimming pools and float on rafts forever. But I do not desire to be rich at the sacrifice of any of my customers, patients, friends, or anybody within earshot. So hear me when I say this. It is simple to do it at home. Find somebody you trust that they have educated themselves and get with them. You can do a lot. Don't come to me though, because I'm going to talk your head off. I'm going to charge you a little money because time is money and I have very little time. My wife tell you that in a heartbeat. But I will help you if you want to. And man, the therapy for me is in the kitchen. It matters not what I'm making. I love to make my salsa and my hummus. My wife sees that coming and she's like, oh my God, I got to go get the chips. And it's like,
yeah, come back to St. Louis.
Oh my goodness. Please do. Please do. I love to cook.
Well, I'm going to be out there next month probably.
Say something.
I'm definitely going to be out there next month. And we're trying to get us both out there. We're trying to both get out there.
Keep me posted because my schedule is kind of crazy. I'm with a friend of mine, Boat Rights Barbecue. That's another one of my business ventures, ladies, as you
shout out.
Yeah. So I'm
actually looks so dank.
I'm his merchandising manager now. And so we'll be traveling Memphis in May, things like that, doing the barbecue festivals and stuff like that. But if I'm in town, you're in town, trust me and believe me, you are well over the word good. Trust me.
Thank you.
No problem.
I didn't tell the story in the beginning because we just got to talking, like, but a little backstory. I was so excited to have you on the show because it's just like we just had Zach on. We just had Zach Post on. So
let me jump in here real quick. Before she finished this story, y'all, she got the coolest damn dog ever. And we was in a girl class together.
So what had happened was I was in town for Missouri Trade Show, MoCan, and I was in town for that. I got invited out for that. And then we also took some time to go to another smaller trade, like a little show, little what do you call it, vendor show. It was more vendors there. And then you were there too. But before that, in the middle of that, Marnie Madison had worked with Zach Post with Elite Home Grow. So Marnie Madison with Fleur Vert Academy had connected with Zach Post of Elite Home Growers Academy, and they put on a class in this workspace that Marnie had access to. So she got a conference room, and they put on this whole class, this growers class. And because we were in town, we were invited to go. So we went and checked Zach out, and I was like, "No, this is accurate. What he's saying is super accurate. Like, I would do a little things different, but like that's how growers are. Some of us do different, like this different than that. But overall, like the information that he gives in his classes is super accurate." And I was like impressed, because I was like, "Okay, Missouri, what?" And we sat next to you. Me and Nugget sat next to you, and had a wonderful conversation. We've been in contact ever since. We had each other on Facebook. We've been in contact ever since. And I've watched your business grow over the last couple of years. I've watched you expand. It's amazing what you're doing. And I think I'm seeing a lot of that from the people that I met when I was out there the first time. There's a lot of people that are just like expansive right now. Ruth just moved to California. I think she's about to blow up something big that we're just not even sure about yet. And then Marnay's making money moves in Missouri and Oklahoma and surrounding areas. I think she even does the clinic still in Illinois, potentially. So she's making money moves, and she just announced that she's like building a farm with the company. So like she's always got something. I love it. But the connection from Marnay to Zach to you, and then the fact that I've been able to be graced with all of your presence recently, it's just been amazing. So I was like, when you were coming on, I was like, oh my God. And I was thinking about how we met, and I was like, oh my God, actually there's like this major connection to. That's how Missouri is, though. And I love it for that.
And in that circle, moving around in that circle, because like Marnay Madison was kind of like tagging on to her and a few other people. They got me introduced into a young lady that's in Dalewood, Missouri. It's like a neighboring neighborhood to Ferguson. But this young lady, Melanie Marie, she is awesome. She has a building open called the Cannabis Education Collective.
Okay.
There's retail space where some of my items, some of my non-infused items, and some of the patches are on her shelf. She has a few different people in there, but there's retail space. And the reason I bring her up is because you'll see a few more of my videos here shortly about the patches. I'm going to be having what's called patch parties. And it's going to be in her space where she has an educational grow as well.
I love it.
So
education is our element, so we love it.
Right. I'll actually reach out to her and tag you two in a post or something, so that because I would love for you to get to talk to her as far as Marsh, because she kind of saved me a little bit. Like while you were talking about watching me expand, there were a few times I was like, nah, I'm not cut out for it, and get a conversation with her, and she was like, nah, and she didn't know it, but secretly she's one of my heroes in the cannabis game. So when she had faith in me and believed in me, and like you, she remembered our first encounter, and it did something. So I came back with a vengeance. So that might have been where you saw the blow up from. But the people here in St. Louis, they are very resilient. They're very blow up-ish, and I'm proud to be part of this game in this time, because the help that's being out there, the help that's being pushed, and the help that's being asked for. Like I say, I've been asked to do classes, and the only reason I haven't is because the jobs I've had in the past. Well, now I'm 39 minutes late to clocking in, but it's well worth it. Don't tell my boss. But I'm on a job now where my schedule allows more, so I'll be able to loosen up and be able to do a few more things.
Let's talk about that, because that's what we're doing. We do, those education pieces. So let's talk about doing some collab work.
Yeah.
If you want to educate, and especially because we're, Jason's coming on Monday. We're definitely, I shouldn't say definitely, because I haven't talked to him about it, but most likely we're going to talk about the communities of color events that he puts on in different areas. Education is really important, and I think that we need to give attention to the areas that don't get attention in the cannabis game, and that's a fact. And it's funny because they got attention when it was illegal.
Right.
I wonder why that is.
What is that?
Can't think of why that could be. But yeah, so I'm definitely interested in doing that. I've talked to Jason about, working with him to do like, a little education on his team when he's in need of an extra educator. So for sure, that's what I live for, and that's what we like to do. We even put we're going to be launching a product soon. We're going to be working in conjunction with Mighty Kind, and we are putting out our own label, Queen Kitty Seltzer. But we've put a little education piece on each can too. Like, we're very dedicated to making sure that there's education about and surrounding our wonderful plant.
The Snapple of cannabis. Let's go.
Yeah. It's like it's on the side of the can. No, that's what we were thinking about too. We were thinking it too. You've said a lot of things that made me think like, yeah, that's what we're doing too. Like, when we're talking about branding yourself and people know you by your brand, that's how we focus. I always say I want the Dave Chappelle effect. So everything I wear, I want to have one of my logos on it, all of my logos on it. I don't care.
I just can't afford all the shirts.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I'm trying.
As we go forward, if we have that mindset, like he wears a necklace, he can pull a patch off of his jacket and throw it into the crowd. He's always branded. He is always branded. And so that's it. We're gonna Dave Chappelle it up. Like, as soon as, like you said, like, I can't afford to buy like 1 million t-shirts right now, but that's okay. Because one day I'm gonna be able to get the necklace, and one day with the little Queen Kitty cat on it, and one day I'm gonna be able to get the jacket, and then one day that's just gonna be my wardrobe and what I wear.
So it's crazy you say that. So that's kind of how the in-home pop-up started.
Okay, I love this in-home pop-up. I wanted to ask you about it, talk about it. Yeah.
So what happened is, end of the year 2021. I came out of that and I was kind of impressed with the pop-up scenery. I had been invited to a few. People had seen me at other ones and was like, I gotta have you, yada yada yada.
Right.
The energy is crazy, your product is crazy. Come on. And I was like, all right. So I had
bet.
Right. So January 1, I had a pop-up schedule, and wasn't the best thing to do in my household, but the missus understood. So we was ready. We had a passing in the family just before the funeral, was right before Christmas.
Right.
Most of the family ended up with COVID.
Oh no.
So I was in the house without COVID, but my wife was, and my mother-in-law was positive. So I'm going between two houses. I couldn't dare take that to a pop-up.
Right.
Fast forward, 2, maybe 3 weeks later, another pop-up. It snowed and iced, and I was furious. I could have melted every drop of it.
I bet.
Fast forward a week later, I was scheduled to do another one. Weather again. I was like, no, this is not. And so I started getting discouraged again. And I didn't have Miss Melanie Marie this time. I had to think of something on my own. Right. And so what happened is, because I do the pop-ups and I purchased a 6-foot table and I have tablecloths, I set up in the living room, and I
It's
was like, you
yours,
know
yeah.
what? I'm gonna just tell everybody about it, and anybody who inbox me and say, "Hey, can I come by?" Well, we can meet maybe, depending on how long I've been dealing with you. But if I find you to be safe enough, and you got enough mask, and my wife's got enough Lysol, come on in. I'll spray you down. We'll talk quick. I'll explain a few things, and we'll get you straightened out. And
So it's like a kind of a by appointment.
pretty much, yeah. And so now with the patches, because um I have a very high energy, if you can't tell. So
I love it.
when we're at these pop-ups, the first time anybody, matter of fact, hold on one second, my camera's gonna jostle a little bit. I gotta reach down under my butt and pull out this bag.
That was on February 14th, sir.
So this bag I was sitting on while I was driving is full of old patches.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But I use it as, oh, that shoulder's hurting. Let me sit it right here.
While you're
Oh,
driving.
I got a headache. Oh, that hip's hurting. That back's. I keep these old patches.
Oh.
So when I'm at these pop-ups and I put this on your shoulder, and I'll sit it on MJ's shoulder and I'll start talking to her, and I'll be like, hey, so yeah, how you doing? And then the patches, they reflect your body heat. The moment MJ's eyebrows wrinkle up and she's like, hey, what's that? I'll pull it off of her, like just subtly, like, yeah, so yeah, and then da da da. And I'll make sure I keep moving the bag in her face while I'm talking to you. I've had 3 ladies in 3 different events snatch my bag out of my hand and take off running. Not to steal it, but to get some more use out of it.
Yeah.
Then they end up coming back with more patients.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. When I started doing it in home, it was because I couldn't get to my pop-ups to do that to everybody. So I just started remembering every patching that I had to do. If, like I said on that last video, young lady came in, the lady next to me, this was actually her sister. That young lady came in because her sister, oh my God, this lady just stood up and said her back don't hurt no more. There was another young lady, her right shoulder was crushed. She fell and crushed her right shoulder. This very bag that I have in my car now, she walked around for an hour and a half with it tucked in her jacket, just inside her jacket, not under her shirt, not in between her bra strap, on top of her shirt. I'm sorry, on top of her shirt, under her jacket. And she said all the pain from her right ear down her right side of her body completely went away. She spent probably about $40 with me on patches that day.
Nice. The cost doesn't seem exponential either.
No, sounds like
so it sounds very affordable, which is amazing. Honestly, it's one of the reasons that we work with Josh. Is because of his business plan. And I will just say this to you live on the air, is that we are looking to expand our CBD line. So, there's potential to have a conversation about it, maybe while we're in Missouri.
Please and thank you.
Even if it was a situation where we could discuss manufacturing and such, where it would just be a necessity for NDAs and ingredients, and then get a manufacturer and put our name on it, powered by main ingredient, and
See, I get excited about things like this because right now my big thing is I have a lot of paperwork that I need to get done. I have a lot of consulting I need done. I have a lot of paper. The LLC needs to be put together.
Yeah.
But once everything is finalized and all of that, we are. Yeah, I know, right, MJ? I know, right?
This one right here. She is feeling your pain right now, but I will tell you, starting your LLC is super simple. So it's just a matter of taking the time and getting online and
making your list,
checking the boxes and going through, right? So it's super easy to set up your LLC.
Super hard to make the list.
And and definitely if you guys aren't following us on our Discord, check out our solo link. We've got all of the links in there now. So solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420 is where you can find all of our links. Our email is in there. Everything is in there. I made sure of it.
And I think we're going to try and build the TikTok up so we can do things on it. Or
so a couple of things. First thing is go into that link and join us on our Discord. I would love for you to join us in our Discord. We're in there every day working, and we can maybe banter some ideas and have some conversations if you're into that. So anyways, if you guys want to join us on our Discord, definitely do. Our main rule is you have to be nice to other human beings. You got to be nice. You got
darn, I have to work hard.
You have to be nice to other humans. If you're not nice to other humans, I will personally kick you out myself. That means no bigotry and no hateful talk. We're gonna let people be who they are. And that's that. You're allowed to disagree. I'm not saying you can't disagree with people. I'm just saying don't be hateful.
Don't be a jerk.
Don't be a dick.
There it is.
There it is. The other thing is that we are discussing building up our TikTok again. Even though they just banned me for a torch sound. Okay, TikTok. So our TikTok's at like 700 and something right now. So go join that. That link is also in the solo.to/Cannabis Closet 420. Everything's in there. The Instagram's in there. The links to the Spotify, the Apple iTunes, the Google podcast is in there. The links to I said Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitch, the link to go to Queen Kitty Seltzer's in there. The link to go to CQ LLC is in there. Everything is in that solo link right there. Everything and
all that.
So join us, won't you? Yeah. And if for some reason something doesn't work, just shoot us an email. We'll make sure that you get the link that you need. But they should all work. Like it's a forever link that I put in there for the Discord. Can
I get that Discord link in the group?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll shoot it over to you. Yeah. I love our Discord. We are trying to build a community in there. And not everybody in there works for us, but I feel like everybody contributes to what we're doing and we really appreciate it. And thank you for everything. Yeah. Oh, lady is like, it's time. It's Wednesday.
I got 9 minutes before dinner time.
9 minutes before dinner time.
Give me a bone.
So funny.
Do me a favor. Just one favor. Pronounce your name. Pronounce your name for me.
My full name?
Yeah.
Farah Halisa.
Yes, I was right. I'm sorry. I get excited. Yeah.
No. The H is pronounced.
No, because you made a post, I want to say it was probably a year and a half ago. You was like, if you can't fucking pronounce my name right. And I was like, yeah. Let me get the pronunciation. And I never went in your, and look, here's how crazy I am. Never once did I open up your page and say, it's pronounced as. Yeah. Nope. I just read the letters. I'm saying, this is right. This is. Yeah. So I got it right. I'm like,
I don't know. She got a little crazy with it. The H is pronounced in my name. I go by Farah or CannaQueen, because that's who I am. But yeah, I had I might have posted that because years ago this happened, but this happens to me every once in a while. But years ago, I had this really horrible roommate who suddenly forgot that I worked for an attorney. I don't know, crackhead. Stupid. She was like no smoking, and then she would smoke cigarettes under the vent that goes to my room. Like, what the fuck, girl? I ended up having to sue her for my deposit back, but she called my law office. I work for a landlord tenant attorney. I was very clear about that. You probably don't want to fuck with me. She calls my law office and she leaves a message after hours and says she doesn't know anybody named Felicia. Bitch, my name is on every single check I've ever written to you. She called me Sarah one time in the house, and I was like, don't. And I will be honest with y'all, I could have killed that girl. because I didn't smoke then. I was active duty when I lived with her.
Oh, wow.
So for
Right.
me, like, just pronounce my first name right, and if you don't, and I will correct you. I'll correct you.
Right.
And then I just would like the respect of somebody to please pronounce my name right. My name's not hard either, and I give you a short version of it.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure because man, it was driving me crazy because I'm telling you that post, because you do so much to try to respect people. And like you say, when you first come on, just be nice to human beings. It don't matter what they choose to decide what to do with what parts. But as long as they not poking you in the face, fuck it, man.
Yeah, if you're not hurting anybody with your actions, then you should be left the fuck alone.
Right.
When we talked in the beginning about what I was mad about, and I, the thing is that I believe in the science behind it, and so I don't believe this is a choice. But even if you do think that these are choices, why would anybody make a choice to be discriminated against? I don't know. But these are choices made by human beings. Then if that's your opinion about it, is that choice hurting you at all? Is it doing anything to effectively change your life? No, it's not. Not at all. And like, really, there's enough. Well, I was about to say there's enough resources, but not really. There's too many human beings. But generally speaking, we are rich enough at resource, as far as monetary resource, that people don't have to be disrespected. People can be who they want to be, and people can live their lives how they want to live their life. But unfortunately, there's also greed. So
555. Sorry.
555.
Oh boy.
Okay, the portal is open. So, any last minute thoughts from the mad scientist with main ingredient in St. Louis?
Hydrate.
Holla, St. Louis. Hydrate.
Watch your diet. Do as much sugar control as you want to. If you need help with that, we got a patch for that as well. It's called the SP6 Complete. Yes. But hydrate.
Where can we find you? Give us all your options.
On Facebook, I'm Main Ingredient STL. The same on TikTok at Main Ingredient STL. On Instagram, I am M Ingredient STL. In St. Louis, I am the Black Impala flying past you, racing to the next person who has pain. So just find me somewhere. I'm telling you, and don't be scared to get on the post. That's one of my biggest fears. When I see people on posts, like I saw a young lady the other day, she literally said in her post that she's allergic to Tylenol. She's in so much pain she doesn't know what to do. But you're a friend of mine on my timeline. There's no way you haven't heard me say drug and chemical free. Light reflection, nothing enters
Some
your
people just
body.
don't want to believe it if a doctor didn't say it was okay. And this is like he's not saying, hey, this is a patch with something smeared on it that you're putting on your body. You don't even have to touch your body with it. He's like, he's got like what do you call them, testimonials with people that just didn't even have it near their, like, it was just between a shirt, or like there's material there and in a plastic bag. Like, you could give light reflection a try. It's not, your body's not absorbing anything that's not already in it, So, I mean, check him out. I'm definitely gonna start looking at what you have, because I am highly interested. And also join us on Discord, because I'm highly interested in having continued conversations with you. I like to say these things out loud and live because I like to stand by my word, and I don't want nobody to be like, well, she said. That's not what I said. But also, I just want to be clear about my intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we definitely want to expand.
My sound, I can't hear you.
Oh no, he can't hear. Anyway, well, maybe he'll come back in a second. We're gonna start wrapping up anyway, but we want to thank our guest, Main Ingredient St. Louis. He is amazing. He's always like that, y'all. I've never seen him
amazing.
Never seen him in a poor mood. Like, you are always have a smile on your face.
Cool.
I feel like you're problem solving on a constant basis in a positive way. And like, really, the product that you're offering is an affordable product with natural ingredients, and we're super on board with that. And you have good intention for your consumer base. Like, yeah, like we said the other day, you know, money is not evil. Money is not evil. The right people with money can do amazing things. People are greedy, and that is what is reflected in that evil. But people like Randy here making millions would probably be like one of the best things ever, because he's already doing things to help his community when he doesn't have millions to give, right? So like, if he did, could you imagine the great work that he would do? This is where money is important, because that is our method of trade, if you will, right now in these United States. And oh, you know what we didn't do? I will have to remember. I'll have to remember after I finish this thought. But
yes, we have not.
Yes, thank you. But so yeah. So I love that you're creating a product. I love your story and where it came from. A lot of us come from a story like that, where it's just like we were treating ourselves or treating a loved one, and it was just like this small scale situation, and then somebody like a friend or another loved one was like, oh, what about me? Make me some. And now you're making it on a larger scale. And then you're like, well, I have extra, so here's this. And then it turns into a business.
Yeah.
It's very amazing. I love your pop-up idea. I think if you are on a platform to do the pot, like you can't do shit like this on TikTok, because TikTok, but you can do it with your uninfused stuff, right? But like, do the pop-up and have like if you want to purchase something, then here's the Cash App, here's how you purchase, and then you would just need to send the information here so that we can connect and make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have like a live pop-up in your house and do the sales in a live situation.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I watched a whole live the other day where they sold pearls, where they were popping these pearls.
Oh my God.
Out the oysters.
You guys, the pearls. The pearls. I love the pearls.
Hey,
I watch the pearls every day. I watch the pearls every day.
Some heart ones the other day.
Y'all, if y'all aren't watching the pearls, then you probably don't have ADD. I don't even know. I hyper focus on the pearls.
God.
It's so relaxing. I'm like, how many is going to come out of this one?
Only pop out one. I was like, it only gives you one? All that? Someone
thank you. Validation for the pearls.
Hey, listen.
Sorry.
V for validation. V for validation.
Oh my gosh. You guys, the pearls. I love it. Okay. Thank you. I needed that.
But referencing that in terms of like, yes, being able to talk about what you're doing, and for, you know, selling consultations or setting up consultations, you know, all sorts of aspects that you could,
and I have a spot on my website under services. You can go in there and you can fill out a form for consultation. There's a questionnaire in there, and it asks you, so we can get a pre-medical. I promise you, it sounds crazy. It's like a pre-medical screening. But a lot of these questions yeah, you know, so a lot of the questions that I ask, they're like history questions on what you felt, what you dealt with, what are you dealing with right now, and what are you looking for in the future? Because like I say, I'm the middleman. The grand creator gave me the idea. He gave you the illness. Now, what are we going to do about said illness?
Yes.
Because I got something for you. Let's go.
Yes. With proven testimonials. So yeah, definitely go check out Main Ingredient St. Louis STL, or M Ingredient for Instagram, right? Yes. If you follow us at all, then we've tagged him on our social media platforms, with the exception of TikTok, because fuck them, they won't even let us post a banner.
Listen. I'm working around, and then you can't even go live on TikTok unless you got 1,000 followers.
No, I know. We were just
We're
talking
working
about
on
it.
that. Yeah, we're at.
That's why we want to get our TikTok up to 1,000 followers so we can do them.
Freaking new. Can a closet help me?
Well, yes. We've been working. I am challenged. I am social media challenged. I don't use any of my personals for this, except I do to promote the show, and that's how like most of my people like join in and watch. But otherwise, it's like my first name isn't up there. I think my sister's like even removed me from because she has children and she doesn't. Like she's like I can't be public, open to whomever. Peeping my page. My page. I'm like you're okay.
Educate the children.
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much that; it's about the people that she doesn't know that can.
Right. I understand. We should very much limit children's social media intake anyway. In general, honestly, there is too much. It's too much.
I'm gonna take it a step further. We should limit some adults' social media intake.
Mine included. I'm addicted, yo.
I've spent the last 6 days.
Social media.
I spent the last 6 days doing this.
Yeah, like mindlessly, I'll catch myself,
right,
and then I'll be like, I'm not even doing anything for work because a lot of what we do, a lot of what we do is an excuse to be on social media. But like, we could get on and get off, right? We could get on, post our shit, and then get off, but that's not what happens.
Is like you have to see to be seen, so you have to go through and you have to, and that's where it's important to like your people. This is where it's important to like and go follow the people that you do want to continue to, and that's the whole thing with the algorithm, and I think being smart about social media time, because again, yes, I will rabbit hole, I will like get intimidated about posting something, I won't record a TikTok because I don't know how to do something, and so I create the barriers for myself in that social media aspect, but then we are required to promote ourselves, to sell our product, to bring about this wealth, and that we
literally can't hire people
so that
to do
we
it.
Continue to spread the wealth.
I'm sorry, MJ. Are you talking to the man who created a virtual pop-up in his home?
Yeah, she is. Like we have to, right? It's like a hindrance, right? But then we have to like get beyond it. I actually promised a video for today that I haven't done yet.
We set the goals. We have our lists, but again, I intimidate the crap out of myself about things like social media. So
real quick, because I don't want you to forget. You were telling the story and you said, "Oh my God, we forgot to do something."
Oh, yes.
3-month recognition.
Okay, so I have a story. Hold on, I gotta find the story.
Okay, I will tell mine real quick. You can see this on our Facebook page. I posted the article, but it's about Paul McCartney and the song Blackbirds, and how the Beatles wrote that song is that they came over to Little Rock and witnessed the discrimination and the whole movement and were appalled. They were appalled about segregation, and so they were influenced by these two women, and actually, names them. It's the two, and very prominent women during and why that song is about them. And go visit our Facebook page for the actual blurb on it.
Pull that blurb up while I talk about this wonderful woman I'm about to talk about. First of all, I just want everybody to know we've said this before, but there's a couple times where I'm like, I know that this happened, but I don't have a name. So Chef James Hemings was the first American classically trained in French cuisine. He is the founder of Mac and Cheese, but his owner, Thomas Jefferson, took credit for it. Yes, that Thomas Jefferson. Bitch. It was not Of course, macaroni and cheese was created by a black person. What are y'all smoking if you didn't think that? Like, what? Come on.
Hey.
There's seasoning and it's cheesy and it's like feeds your soul. It's like macaroni and cheese is a meal in itself. If it's made right.
You took them words out of my mouth.
Kidding me? Thomas Jefferson didn't make no damn macaroni and cheese.
No, I
Get
ain't
out
going.
of here with that.
I ain't going.
Okay, here's the story. You ready? This is the story. Some of you will guess it, who I'm talking about before I get there. So no spoilers if you guess. Okay. Some of you won't know this story. In 1981, a white American girl named Catherine Donnelly gained admission to Princeton University, which was predominantly white, and she got the shock of her life on her first day of school. Her new roommate would be a tall, lanky Black American girl named LaVon Michelle Robinson from Chicago. She picked up the phone and called her mother immediately. "She's what?" Alice Brown asked, the tone in her voice hovering somewhere between anxiety and outright panic. Her knuckles turned white as she gripped the phone. This is fucking crazy to me, you guys. For a person. Okay, here we go. She called Catherine's grandmother, and together they drove to Princeton to protest the calamity. But unfortunately, there were no alternative rooms available. So poor Catherine, she had to bear the indignity of living with a Black girl. Damn. Okay. So it was that 17-year-old LaVon, who bore the brunt of the discrimination and attitude of her two white roommates who moved out as soon as a new room could be found. Thereafter, LaVon had a whole room to herself because she was Black. That seems like a plus. I mean, the discrimination part, fuck off. But like the whole room to yourself is like heaven. Okay. Right, MJ, because you were complaining about glasses today. So, okay. Things had degenerated so badly that when she encountered Catherine on the way, I guess to and from classes, Catherine would turn her face away. LaVon was described these years in later life as scary. So, I mean, I'm sure, like, especially if, I mean, as a minority, like the only person and then people treat you that, anyways, I'm sure is fucking scary shit. In fact, LaVon moved on from Princeton to study at Harvard, law at Harvard. And then she graduated, met a young man, and got married. In 2009, when Barack Obama became the 44th president of the United States, the first Black American to attain that height. Also, happy President's Day to Barack Obama once more. His wife, Michelle LaVon Obama, became the first African American first lady. So the person that wrote this is David Clark, says, "Now I know you may be wondering what later became of Catherine Donnelly. I honestly didn't see or read that part of the story, and I'm pained, and I am pained to, but I assure you that she hasn't become the wife of a United States president, and that is how she lost the opportunity to a business card that reads Friends of the First Lady of the USA or Wife of President."
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the little story, a little blurb about Michelle Obama, our first Black first lady. So, that I imagine that is scary. I mean, just being the only in a place full of others feels like it would be scary,
Right.
especially if okay, like as a woman, especially if other women are treating you poorly,
Right.
then like how are also the men gonna treat you? I mean, I feel like it's a super scary situation.
Been there.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
I actually have a picture in my phone. I keep it. I was the only manager in a group in Washington, and I actually asked for the group picture just so I could take it back and show. that I was the only guy of color in the room.
This happens a lot
Mm-hmm.
to men and women of color. Men and women who are of Latin descent as well. You know, just if you're not a white man or woman, then this happens a lot. And so I've traveled, and I've been in a room where I was the minority. It was a different feeling.
Yeah.
You know, but I still had privilege there. I was still privileged in those spaces. And also I was lucky in those spaces to be surrounded with friends. So I wasn't treated poorly by anybody to make the experience more frightening or more anxiety ridden. I can't even say it was frightening when I experienced that. I would say there's maybe like anxiety about it.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. People, the emotion fear is a made up thing, it's just a word. But anxiety is a real thing. The heightened adrenaline, the blood pumping in your ears. And no, this is not a plug, but there's a patch for that. And it really
It's a good
does
one,
work. My wife uses it. It's the Nirvana. You know, working in the home care, not the home care, the nursing home industry, you know, with the amount of residents passing away, the shortage of nurses and CMTs and CNAs, then the attitudes of people with the worries of their families getting sick and the lack of payment and compensation. So she had a lot going on. She keeps the Nirvana patches in her purse.
Nice.
And some in her car and some in her
You
desk.
just like sparked my interest, because I actually have this conversation with my therapist on a regular basis. Like, I felt like I'm going to die on the phone with Spectrum one day. Cause they're just going to piss me off and I'm just going to lose it. And like even when I'm talking calmly, like if I'm like externally calm, which is a new skill that I have acquired in my 40s.
Right. No lie.
But even externally, when I'm like not showing all of those emotions, inside is wreaking
it is
fucking
a
havoc.
volcano, and it's everywhere. Yes.
Yeah, and it's painful, you guys. It's painful to feel like that. If you've never experienced that shit is so painful to be angry like that all the time. Like
now, let me do you one worse. Add ADD on top of that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So then you start talking about, so MJ, you get an insight. I guess you and the listeners get an insight on the next video. We're going to talk about brain balance.
I love that.
So brain balancing is where you take a patch and you put it on the third eye position, one over each ear, and then one at the base of the head, top of the neck, base of the head, where your hairline is.
Are we realigning the brain with magnetic or like light?
With crystal light therapy. And then you take another one and you put it 4 fingers from your hairline. That's the true crown of your head. And we'll get you some brain balance to start calming you down, getting you some clearer thoughts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, listen. Oh, I can spend.
All right. I definitely I think we're sold on a consultation, and
yeah, for sure. You guys check it out.
Some patch therapy for our individual needs.
Talk some sponsorship and stuff too.
Yeah,
man.
I have the little Facebook thing about Paul McCartney.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So, let's see. Paul McCartney was visiting America. It was said that he was sitting, resting when he heard a woman screaming. He looked up to see a black woman being surrounded by the police. The police had her handcuffed and were beating her. He thought the woman had committed a terrible crime. He found out the crime she committed was to sit in a section reserved for whites. Paul was shocked. There was no segregation in England, but here in America, the land of freedom, this is how blacks were being treated. McCartney and the Beatles went back home to England, but he would remember what he saw and how he felt the unfairness of it all. He also remembered watching television and following the news in America, the race riots, and what was happening in Little Rock. what was going on in the civil rights movement. He saw the picture of 15-year-old Elizabeth Eckford attempt to attend classes at Little Rock Central High as an angry mob followed her, yelling all the slurs and awful statements. And they list them out here, and I prefer not to read them.
We don't need to repeat the words of racists.
Mccartney couldn't believe this was happening. He thought of these women being mistreated simply because of the color of their skin, and he sat down and wrote. Last year at a concert, and this is a 2020 article, so we date that. He would meet two of the women who inspired him to write one of the most memorable songs, Thelma Mother Shed Ware and Elizabeth Eckford, members of the Little Rock Nine. And then there's a picture of him with the two women. McCartney would tell the audience he was inspired by the courage of these women. Way back in the 60s, there was a lot of trouble going on over civil rights, particularly in Little Rock. We would notice this on the news in back in England, and so it's a really important place for us. Because to me, this is where civil rights started. We would see what was going on and sympathize with the people going through these troubles, and it made me want to write a song about it. If it ever got back to the people going through these troubles, it might just help them a little bit. And
that's beautiful.
He goes on. I'm sorry, I'm cheering up.
Yeah.
He explained that when he started writing the song, he had in mind a black woman, but in England, girls were referred to as birds. And so the song started, blackbirds singing in the dead of night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. And goes on for the rest of the song. McCartney added that he and the Beatles cared passionately about the civil rights movement. And so this was really a song from me to black women experience these problems in the States. So let me encourage you to keep trying, to keep your faith. There is hope.
Guys, that's beautiful. Number one. Number two, we'd be remiss to remind you that the 60s weren't that long ago. And also that the same thing that he witnessed is still happening to black men and women every single day on these streets in the United States. There is not any, like, now we get it on we can see it. We can see it now. And I don't.
But the fact that it's still happening and it's being seen.
So thank you, Paul McCartney.
About more and more, and it's still happening, and it's awful. It's ugly. It's
awful.
That actually, I didn't know about the song Blackbird.
I didn't either. I'm gonna listen to that different now.
Yeah, I just recently found out about the song Strange Fruit.
Okay. Talk to us about it. I don't know about this.
So Strange Fruit is I don't know why I want to say Billie Holiday, and I feel like I'm
I'll look and you tell us about it.
But Strange Fruit is a song about a singer, female black singer who went down south to sing, and as she was riding through the South, she saw some hanging women and men.
Billie Holiday, you're correct.
I was right. Okay.
Yes.
So Billie Holiday spotted these men and women hanging from trees. And so the song, I believe it goes, strange fruit hanging from these trees. It just ran out of my mind. But
that's
somehow,
okay. You know what? I have a computer in my hand. It's fine.
There it is. So somehow or another, it goes to the point of saying that the roots are fertilized. But her wording was double played on the blood that ran down these trees, dripped and soaked the ground, and now this tree is growing. And what is this tree growing? Strange fruit. Hanged men and women. And yeah.
So Southern, okay, I'm gonna talk it out because also that. So Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and twisted mouth, scent of magnolias sweet and fresh, then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop. That's the song.
That's
Yeah. That's
Yeah. And that right there, when I first learned about it, it really did something to me because, like you say, how often do you move around and you feel the anxiety of being the different person in the room? And then you got to go into the minds of the great state of Texas, where now you can't even be what you want to be in your mind.
You want to be, you can't be a woman. Definitely. I mean,
you can't be, at this point, you can't be human.
Not unless you let them control you.
Yeah. And again, like I say, one way or the other, I don't judge. I don't not judge. I'm too busy trying to
make this money
for me.
Listen,
business.
Between the little few bucks I do want to make and the help I want to give, I don't have the time to judge. I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. That's one of my wife's favorite lines, and I love it.
I love that too. Amen.
I don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in.
Well,
what I do have for you is some patches or some infusions and good times.
Yeah,
I love that. I think that's a great segue into our wrap up. You guys, be nice to yourselves. Make sure that you put your mask on before assisting others. It's very important.
Cultivate love. You deserve it. Spread it.
Yes. And as always, I got the Eureka vaporizer here. Mine's heating out. I got a little preheat on it. You guys, stay lifted, everybody.
Yes. Stay lifted.
I misplaced my I don't know what I did with it. Oh, there he is. I like my little glass piece.
Yes.
My little Marley Natural.
Beautiful.
I got the spoon.
Make sure you go follow Main Ingredient STL. And he's going to also be joining us in Discord at some point in time. So if you guys ever want to meet him, I'm sure you'd be able to meet him in there. He's fabulous. He's fantastic. We're going to talk business, I promise you. All right. We'll see you on Monday where we got guests Jason Mitchell and also not confirmed yet.
Hopefully maybe someone else.
Also potentially another guest. But if not, Jason Mitchell on his own is a fantastic guest.
Always a great.
So we're going to have a great conversation. This was a great conversation. Thank you for coming through, Randy. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to talking to you more. And we're going to have you back on the show because we always you got to send to 2 hours on a work Wednesday. So
so much fun.
I'm a talker.
Talk to you guys later. Peace out. Stay lifted, everybody.